Hi, this is Mashnu and it's day 14 of the Middlegame training. This position that you are looking at is from the game between Anatoly Karpov and Boris Spassky, Moscow 1973. It's white to move here, and as you can see, white has sacrificed the exchange and he has compensation. Before I continue explaining what this compensation is and how white proceeded, I want to ask you to pause the video and have a really good look at the position. See if you can find what this compensation is. Why is here white standing so much better? I'll continue the explanation in a few seconds. Alright, so the main weakness of black are these two knights here. Two knights standing together on the same file where the white rook is standing, attacking them. They are both defended, but only by the queen. That means that the queen is bound to stay there to defend d6. This idea brings us to the search, the direction where we have to look to find the correct move order, correct line here. Of course, we could attack this queen by playing bishop to g5. That could be an idea. But then the queen can go to f8, still defending d6, and I don't see how we could attack again without any defense by black. So if queen d2, for example, to attack this knight again, then there is always rook to e6. This is not what we're looking for. Let's go back. What Anatoly Karpov did here is that first he traded the dark square bishops. He took on g7, king takes g7, and now comes actually the most important move of the whole game. He played here queen to g5. Now, why is this such a beautiful move? Well, first of all, if black takes on g5, then knight takes g5, and we are threatening to take the knight on d6. Moving the knight away doesn't work, because then the knight on d7 falls, because these two knights are both targets now. And a move like f6, well, in that case we simply take on d6. After f takes g5, rook takes d5 check, we have won material. So trading queens doesn't work for black. Now, what if he plays something like queen to e6? Out of this possible trade and defending the d6 knight. This is a beautiful variation, a nice combination. Rook takes d6. After queen takes e6, knight f5 check, winning the queen. Notice that in this combination there are three different tactical concepts working together. One of them is the deflection of the black queen, and the two others are a fork and a pin. This kind of concepts are the things that we need to recognize when we are playing our own games. Recognizing these concepts help us to become creative in chess and find this kind of continuations. But well, that means that queen to e6 doesn't work. The same, of course, counts for queen to f8. If queen to f8, then the same combination happens. In the game here, black played f6, attacking white's queen, and Karpov calmly played queen to g4. Still we have now this threat of rook takes d6, queen takes d6, knight to f5 check, winning the queen. So how to prevent this combination? Moving the knight away is terrible, because then rook takes d7 wins the queen. Moving the queen away, well, nothing happens, because then the same thing, queen takes d6, queen takes d6, and the same check there, so queen f8 doesn't work here now. Black tried by moving the king to h7, so he's going away from this pin. That means that rook takes d6 doesn't work anymore, because the knight cannot give the check there on f5. But here one more beautiful move was found by Karpov. He played knight to h4. He is making use of the new weakness in black's position, the g6 square. Here black resigned, and let's have a look why he did resign here. What about defending g6, for example by a rook to g8? What happens then? Take a look if you can find the possible continuation here. There are actually many options to win this. One of them is rook takes e6. After queen takes e6, knight to f5. If the queen moves away, then we have a checkmate on h4. And if black takes here on f5, we can give check on h5 first, king goes to g7, and one more time the same fork here on f5, winning the queen. So defending this g6 pawn doesn't work, at least not with the rook. What other options are there to defend it with the knight? Knight f8, defending this g6 pawn. Knight takes g6, knight takes, and now the queen to h5. And the same idea, if the king goes to g7, rook takes e6, queen takes e6, knight f5 check. And if the king goes to g8, well then, very simple, we can take on g6. We check, the queen can go in between, but then d6 will fall after queen trade. So queen takes, king takes, and then rook takes d6. What if here the king moves? Well, then, oops, like this. Then we have more or less the same kind of situation that we can sacrifice on d6. There is even a beautiful combination hidden here. If rook takes e6, queen takes e6, now we can either win with knight to f5 now, with a double threat, because we are threatening to take the queen, and we are also threatening queen to g7 checkmate. And if queen goes to f8 to defend this g7 square, then we have a check here. The king must go to g8, and now a piece that we almost have forgotten, this bishop enters the attack, and here there is no way to save the game. It's almost checkmate. So, well, I think these are a bit the possibilities that could happen in this beautiful example. Let's have a short look one more time. This was the position, and Karpov makes use of the weakness of this d6 knight that's only defended by the queen. He trades the bishops, and then this beautiful move, queen to g5. I don't doubt that Karpov must have calculated many variations after this move. because he had to think what happens after queen to f8, what happens after trading, what happens after f6, and he continued this game with this beautiful knight to h4, and then everything collapses in black's position. There is no way to save the game, so here Boris Spassky resigned the game. Alright, I hope you have enjoyed this beautiful example of middle game attack and how to make use of the badly positioned pieces of the opponent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on day 15. Goodbye, thank you.